How do you do? How do you do? Certainly is a great thrill for you to see me. How are you? I really hope I enjoy the show. I am a very big star, but nobody seems to know about it. I don't know if you heard about it. Not too many people seem to know what I do for a living. But I happen to be a great performer too. I'm not ashamed to tell you because I know my act by heart. And I can't get over it, I'll be honest with you. I tell you myself what a great performer I am because from the way I perform, you really can't tell. I don't perform that great for such a great performer. Well, that's my opening. Don't get scared, this is not my act yet. My act is not so hot. This is the best part. Watch me carefully, I got a certain system. I have a system, I start slow. But little by little, I die out completely. This is a trick that took me years to develop. You know, there was a time that I used to stink right away. Now it takes a whole night. I don't know if you heard about it. I was in show business years ago, but I quit. This is a comeback. Just to give you an idea how well I was doing at that time when I quit. Do you know that I was the only person who knew that I quit? That's how good I was doing. But tonight I knew I'd be a hit as soon as I walked out. If you'll ask me how I could tell, I'll be glad to tell you. As long as I'm not busy. See, I could always tell how good I'm going to do by watching the act before me. It's always good for me to follow a great act like this fella just now. Because I'm not such a sensation myself that I could afford to follow another stiff. You know, I'll tell you the truth, I did a show last week in another place where the act before me was so terrible that throughout my performance, they kept booing him. Couldn't forget how lousy he was. Some people even walked out on him while I was still performing. Already I'm not bad. I'm very impressed. When I listen to myself, I can't get over what a good comedian I am. You know, comedians like me don't grow on trees. Like they swing from them. Well, you know something I was just thinking, it was like I was just saying to myself only last night. I always talk to myself because I like to deal with a better class of people. I used to talk to other people, I'll tell you the truth, but I found out half of the time they're not even listening. Before you know it, you're talking to yourself anyway. So why should I knock myself out? I cut out the middleman and I talk straight to myself. When I talk, I listen, I wait to hear what I got to say, I don't interrupt. Because I know I'm dealing with an intelligent person, you know what I mean? Other people talk, I don't even bother with it. With myself, I listen very carefully, I don't start no arguments. No matter what I say, I get along, I'll be honest with you. Not only that, I'll tell you the truth, I know myself so well that if I don't like the subject, I don't even bring it up. Why should I give myself trouble? I got something stupid to say, I tell it to somebody else, let them listen. The intelligent things I keep for myself. I'm one of the few people I get along with. I'll tell you the truth, when I go, I think I'll have nobody to talk to altogether. Now that I finished that situation, it's an amazing thing how I came here all the way from the east side of New York just to be here now, and as successful as I am now. You know, I come from rough circumstances. I come from a family of 14 children. 14 children, that's the truth. It all happened because my mother was hard of hearing. I'll explain it to you. You see, every night when it was time to retire, my father would say to my mother, "Would you like to go to sleep or what?" And my mother would say, "What?" And that's how it happened. It reached the point my father was afraid to say, "What's new?" But you see, my mother's a brilliant woman. She's a genius. After 14 children, she decided to stop. Because she found out that every 15th child born in America is an Indian. She figured the Indians don't have Jewish children, why should she have Indian children? She's no dope. A brilliant woman. Well, I better leave out the sexy part of my act because I like to keep a show clean. Not that it would matter if I took a few chances. I noticed there's no children in the audience. Thank God. Not that I don't like children, but I'll tell you the truth, I'm not even concerned what I say in front of children. It's a sickness. A lot of adults are very concerned about what they say in front of a child, as if a child will learn something from them. Preposterous. A child only learns something from other children. Did you know that? They learn the facts of life by themselves, not from adults. They learn it through games that they themselves don't even understand. Did you ever notice how every kid in the world plays doctor? Now you think they don't know what they're doing. Why don't they play accountant? I never saw a kid play accountant. Even the kids that want to be lawyers play doctor. Which goes to show you there's no sense in the whole world. Because now that I'm old enough to appreciate it, I can't get a game started. Which is ridiculous. Not that I'm trying to get a game started either. I'm not that type of a person. You know what I'm talking about? I want to show you an example. I talk freely about this whole subject. You see, what we consider clean or dirty only comes from our own, unfortunately, corrupted minds. Because to me, it's a terrible problem that sex is considered a dirty subject. We have a double standard about the whole idea. A father or a mother becomes a father or a mother. Beautiful. We celebrate the arrival of a child, right? But how the child arrived is something that we call in secrecy. We're ashamed of it. They thought it was pretty clever when they did it. So I'd be ashamed when the child arrives. Why is it that very few parents could even have the nerve to tell a child how they came into this world? Beautiful idea. Know what I mean? I myself didn't know how I came into this world till I was 20. My parents were ashamed to tell me. They figured if they didn't tell me, I'd never find out. Now that I know, I haven't got an opportunity to do anything with the information. They were so ashamed to tell me that when I found out by myself, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. I said to myself, my mother, never. Somebody else's mother, I could see it. But my mother's a quiet woman. All her life she's been cooking and cleaning. I said to myself, when did she have time? Then I took a look at my father. I said to myself, him, maybe. But with my mother, he's got a lot of nerve. Do you notice how I keep a show clean? I'm not like on television. Every time you watch something on television, every commercial particularly, there's a sexual connotation to make it palatable. Not only that, to make it appealing. And the sexual connotation comes to you from an underhanded way. You shouldn't even know what's going on there. I saw a cigarette commercial last week where a beautiful girl had the nerve to say this. I've tried everything. But I prefer a Camel. I'll tell you the truth, I'd like to meet that girl one day myself. Did you ever see this commercial on television? This one has been going on for years. They show a picture of a beautiful girl holding a little child in her arms, and a voice pops out and says, does she or doesn't she? Now what do you think? I'll ask you. Did you ever see this Arid commercial? This is clean. It's more ridiculous, but at least it's clean. The Arid always advertises, we stop perspiration around the clock. I tried it. I still perspire like anything. But around my clock. There's another deodorant on the market now. I don't know if you ever heard of this one. It's called Invisible. This is brilliant. Invisible deodorant. You see, you take this deodorant and you disappear completely. But the smell stays the same. But nobody knows where it's coming from. This is the trick. They have one gimmick in deodorants now. This will wipe out all the other ones. It's called scent. They got a great imagination. You see, you take this deodorant and it sends the smell in another direction altogether. So you smell beautifully, but the guy next to you, he stings, but that's not your problem. What do you care? Well, enough of that. I just want to say before I go that I'm still not leaving. And I'll tell you the truth, this whole subject disturbs me because I'm basically a self-conscious person. Do you notice that many comedians or performers in general are basically very self-conscious? You ever meet these people? They look great on the stage. You walk over to them after the show. Can't talk. The truth, they're very uncomfortable people. I myself was once so self-conscious to such an extent that I couldn't talk to people at all. It's hard to believe. Do you know that I was once so self-conscious that if I even went to a football game and I saw the players get into a huddle, I used to think that they were talking about me. That's a true story. As a matter of fact, I went to a psychiatrist and I said to him, what is it? He said, it's $25 a visit. I said, for $25, I don't visit. I move in. Then he took out an ink blot and he said to me, what do you see from this ink blot? I said, I see that you need a new fountain pen. I figure for $25 I'll drive him crazy. Then he said to me, tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. I said, I want $24 change. Then he said, I see your trouble. You hate your sister. I said, I haven't got a sister. He said, I can't help you if you won't cooperate. He said, I'll ask you another question. Why do you hate your father so much? I said, it so happens that I have the highest respect for my father. He said, then why do you hate your mother? I said, I love my mother. He said, then tell me when you first started to hate your brother. I said, I like him too. He said, then maybe you got a cousin you hate? I said, no, I love everybody. He said, you see, that's your trouble. Too much love. You got to hate somebody. I said, right now I'm not so crazy about you. He said, from all your cousins, you can't pick out one lousy cousin that you hate? Am I asking much? He said, usually I ask 3-4 cousins. I'm asking you one lousy cousin. He said, you can't help out? I said, I can't help you. I happen to have wonderful cousins. I said, maybe you got a cousin that you hate. He said, as a matter of fact, I do. I said, then that's your problem. He said, yeah, what can I do about that? I said, lay down on the couch. Maybe I can help you out. He said, what is it? I said, it's $25 a visit. Then he wanted to find out if I was normal with reference to the opposite sex. So he said to me a very subtle question. He said to me, when you meet a girl, what's the first thing that you look for? I said, a room. He said, that's not normal. I'm talking about love. I want to know if you had a true love relationship with any one girl. I said, positively I did. He said, do you remember her name? I said, no. He said, do you remember her address maybe? I said, I don't remember that either. He said, you're not helping me. I said, you never got me any girls either. Would you believe it if I tell you that from these preposterous sounding questions he found out everything that disturbed me from the day I was born? For instance, he discovered that I always felt rejected as a child by my mother because I was a very ugly baby. Hard to believe. That's the truth, I was. In fact, I was so ugly as a baby that my mother used to diaper my face. But you see, my mother had a terrible problem. So happens that she did not know how to express love. Most women in this country suffer from that problem. The industrialization of our society has created such an atmosphere where women don't know how to express love. Do you notice this? You don't, huh? This is one of the great problems. A professor from Columbia University found this out himself. He traveled the country recently to find out what percentage of the women in America really know how to express love. And he found out personally, by his own travels, he found out an amazing thing, that 3 out of 4 women had no idea how to express love. But that 4th woman, to this day, they haven't found that professor. They're not looking for him, they're looking for that 4th woman. I could find that 4th woman, though I need a professor. You know what I'm talking about? Now, what do you think happened? Because my mother hated me and my father hated me and people in general couldn't stand me, I began to think that I wasn't popular. So my psychiatrist told me that instead I had to find something else to fall in love with. And he told me that unconsciously, I was unaware of the fact that I fell in love with my galoshes. Now that sounds ridiculous, I love my galoshes. I thought the same thing. Even if a psychiatrist told it to me. But I believe a stupid thing like that, I love my galoshes. That's stupid. All right, I like my galoshes. I got beautiful galoshes, I'll tell you the truth. Still, I don't love them. I'll admit I hug them once in a while. But I wouldn't kiss them. Because that's not normal. How can I love my galoshes? I love my umbrella. My galoshes are nothing in comparison to my umbrella. You saw my umbrella, you wouldn't bother with your galoshes either. You want me to be honest with you? I never even wanted to take out my galoshes. I was just ashamed. How does it look? I always take my umbrella and I don't bother with my galoshes. So once in a while I took out my galoshes. I never liked them. Because the galoshes looks like nothing. An umbrella, you come into a place, it looks like something. How do you do? That's my umbrella. What I'm talking about comes in different colors. You look like a celebrity. You don't know what's going on. Well, for my next number, I really have to talk fast because my girlfriend is waiting for me outside. The truth of the matter is, I'm a little too sexy for most girls. They take a close look at me, they can't control themselves. It's not only the way I look, as handsome as I am. It's also the way I talk. You hear how I'm talking now? Tell the truth, could you control yourself? You hear this? Not too many people talk like this. This is continental. I don't know if you know which continent it comes from. I don't know either, because I never heard anybody else talk like that. Right now you can't tell how sexy I am because I'm wearing a jacket. If I took off my jacket, you would all say the same thing. Put on your jacket. You know, I never even realized how much girls are in love with me. I myself, as sexy as I am, as sexy as I am, I myself never realized how much girls are in love with me. The average guy doesn't know. I found out a way how I could tell. Now I know when a girl is in love with me. I'll explain it to you how it's possible to notice it. You see, the average guy doesn't notice, but the truth is that our society is so constructed that a man should be able to tell right away, because if a woman loves a man, do you know that she's ashamed to show it? She can't. A man has to be the aggressor towards a woman at all times. As a matter of fact, the more a woman loves a man, the less she's likely to show it because she's afraid she'll lose him. That's how I know that girls love me. Because they ignore me completely. I know one girl that's so desperately in love with me that she will go out with anybody except me. She doesn't want to get hurt. You understand this? I know one girl even married somebody else just to get me jealous. She had already 6 children with this guy. It still doesn't help. I don't bother with her. Ladies and gentlemen, that's about it. I hope you appreciate the fact I took a day off from my regular business just to help you out. I hope you realize this is not my regular business. It's a sideline with me. I happen to be an astronaut on my day off. You didn't know I was an astronaut. You know why? Because I never make an issue out of it. I'm not like Shepard looks for publicity. Wherever you go, you see pictures. Shepard flying. Not me. Never saw one picture of me flying any place. You know why? I never went. I was about to go, but I didn't need it. First of all, I turned them down for a very good reason. They told me that I have to start out 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm willing to endanger my life for my country, but that don't mean I have to kill a whole night's sleep. I don't come home till 5. How am I going to get up at 6? When am I going to sleep? I told them 11:30. I'll help you out. Usually I sleep till 1, but for my country, I give up an hour and a half. But a whole night, I can't give up. They never lost any sleep over me either. Besides, where am I going at 6? What's the hurry? I'm the only one there. Is anybody going to notice if I come 9 o'clock? I'm the first one. I'll come when I want. You know what I'm talking about? You don't look it, I'll be honest with you. What is the hurry? Ridiculous. The greatest people that ever lived in this country were all people who slept good. Do you know that? To this day, wherever you go, you see a sign. George Washington slept here, George Washington slept. Why do you think he slept in so many places? Because they kept waking him up 6 o'clock in the morning. Paul Revere got up 6 o'clock in the morning to holler the British are coming. But as soon as he woke everybody up, he went back to sleep. He knew it's important. Besides, why should I sacrifice myself that much? This country don't treat me that good. You know what they pay an astronaut in this country today? I'm ashamed to tell you. It's $1.25 an hour. The whole flight takes 15 minutes. So what am I left with? 32 cents. For this, I'm going to get up 6 o'clock in the morning. And where's the tips? Tips is a fortune. The guy that opens the door to the rocket, he's got to get something. What if he's an admiral? I can't give him a dime. And how am I going to get to Cape Canaveral? I live in New York. How am I going to get there? I can't take a plane. I would like to, but I'm afraid to fly. So I'll have to take a taxi, even if I make all the lights. You know what it's going to cost me? There's a fortune in this. I can't take a bus. How would it look an astronaut go by bus to a rocket? The whole thing don't make sense. And the main thing is that this job is not steady. Shepard did a great job. Second time they got somebody else. Now if I go to an unemployment office, I'm looking for a job. They'll say, what do you do for a living? I'll say, I'm an astronaut. They'll say, how come you're not working? I'll say, it's not my season. They'll say, how long did you work? I'll say, 15 minutes. Does this sound like a recommendation for a job? You notice they only ask married men. They never asked a single guy to be an astronaut. They ain't got the nerve to ask him. They know a single guy wouldn't go. He's got something to live for. Married men will go any place. He knows it can't get worse. My mother was against it. When my mother found out that they wanted me as an astronaut, she said, why'd they pick you? Well, you got such a great sense of direction. This job is not for you. She said, if this job was any good, would Kennedy offer it to you in the pay place? He'd give it to his brother. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's still not it. It's a pleasure to be here just to get out of my old neighborhood, I'll tell you the truth. You know, I come from the east side of New York, from a very tough neighborhood. I come from a neighborhood so tough that kids used to play games there like cops and robbers with real cops. They used to play hopscotch with real scotch. Broad jumping. But real jumps, a very tough neighborhood. My neighborhood, you had to be a fighter just to get along. That's the truth. So walk in the streets, you had to have 5 fights by the time you reach the next corner. It's a lucky thing I could handle myself. As the other guy I could never handle. A guy got fresh with me only last night. I gave him 1 shot, paralyzed. My whole sight. I still remember my first fight. I came into the ring, it was fantastic. I used to fight in the ring. It was fantastic. I threw a left, a right, another right. Then my opponent came into the ring. Well, this was a different type of fighter. Right away, he started to feel me. When I saw that, I outsmarted him. I started to feel him. Then I started to enjoy it. I said to myself, what are we fighting about? This is better than fight. I worked out a strategy. See, a great fighter is not necessarily strong. Strategy is the most important thing. Like the first round, I decided to lay low. Then he gave me a shot in the mouth. Now I was laying a little lower than I used. But one thing about me, I kept my head. I lost my teeth. But my head I kept. I worked out a strategy. The first round I decided to dazzle him with my footwork. Meanwhile, he was blinding me with his punching. I figured this isn't working either. So I decided to circle him. Then he circled me. Then I circled him. Then he got mad because I was making bigger circles than him. I'm not much of a fighter, but I travel in the bigger circles. All of a sudden, he gave me a shot right in the mouth. I said to myself, what's this? In the middle of a cycle. This was my best cycle. Then I threw a right hand and I punched myself right in the mouth. I said to myself, what's this? 2 against 1? Now I really got mad and I found an opening. It was in my head. Then I decided to move in on this guy. I came back with a vengeance, but he came back with punches. So I got mad and I started to throw my famous 1-5. 1-5. 1-5. 2, 3, and 4, I got. You can't get them all. Now I came out like a caveman. He gave me 1 shot. I caved it. Now one thing about me, I might go down in a fight, but I got news for you. Once I go down, I stay there. I don't get up. I figure I'm here. What's my hurry? Where am I going? I'm not busy. I'll stay here a while. What if I get up, only hit me again? I'm down again. But I have to make 3 trips to the same place. Longer I'm laying here, I'll hang around. I noticed another thing. While I was laying there, he wasn't hitting me. I figured I should have come in laying down. I wouldn't have this problem open. All of a sudden, the referee comes over and starts pushing him away. I said, what are you pushing him now? Where were you when I needed you? Then he started counting. I said, what are you counting? Call a doctor. I'll count. I need him to count. It's ridiculous.